Man, was that a mid-season finale? Tonight's episode is all over the place. We got friendships ending, some bonding moments, some football, and even some confessions of the heart. A lot took place in episode 8, so let's not wait. Let's get into it. What up, everybody? It's your boy K-Ray06 here on K-RayTV, and we are back this time for the mid-season finale of All American Season 3, Episode 8, titled Cancel. As always, we're going to recap the episode while giving our thoughts and then get into the good, the bad, and the downright disrespectful of events, people, stories, etc. that took place within the 48 minutes of the episode. Before we do so, though, if you're a supporter of this channel or you like any of the content, then run a likes up on this video. YouTube sees this as interaction. They push the video forward. I see it too, and it's greatly appreciated. If you're new to the channel and you want to become part of our growing family, the Dream Squad, as we make our way to that 5K, then show some love and hit that sub. Click the noti bell, hit all, and share the video like you care. It all helps, and it definitely doesn't go unnoticed. Now that we got that out the way, let's get into the deets of this episode. This is going to be a long one. I got my water here because I'm going to be talking a lot. I have a lot to say in this mid-season finale. So let's get into it. So this episode does not waste any time. They jump right into the thick of things, giving us the answers we need concerning Spencer and Layla. Layla is pissed, as she should be, and she applies pressure to Spencer by saying, "You told my best friend you love her after we hooked up." Now, one, that was a stretch by calling Liv your best friend. Let's not do that. Lady, you already starting off wrong. But hey, I'll move past that for now. But Layla confirmed for us that they hooked up in Vegas. And if you haven't seen my Hot Topic video, we discussed if Spencer went all the way with Layla or not, and they gave us the answer there. So we can rest assured, everybody. Everybody that I took down the rabbit hole with me, we can come back out. We can poke our head back out. We can poke our head back out because they did hook up. But the takeaway from this scene is from Mr. Spencer James. This man was putting his foot in his mouth, and I did not understand the writing at all. Spencer says he made a promise to Layla that he was going to wait and he didn't want to break that. And he knew how much that meant to her. If y'all could have seen my face, I was just sliding down my chair. Sliding down my chair the entire scene like, Spencer, no. Like, please stop talking. Like, quit while you ahead. Like, cut it off. Like, flag on the plate. Like, let's end conversation. Abort. Let's execute left. Like, let's go. Why would you say something like that to her? Like, why? I didn't get that at all. Like, Spencer tried to like clean it up by saying he didn't mean it, but Layla was done. Like, she was like, we done, and I don't want to see you anymore, and she left. Now, this whole scene is being playing out as Spencer's like reliving this whole conversation in his mind as he can't sleep and can't focus. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I didn't like that scene. It seemed like all the intangibles didn't add up and it felt very rushed. Like, the pacing in this episode was not good. Like, it would have been better if they would have just let that scene breathe. Like, hear me out. Like, it's a major moving point when it comes to the story. Yet they wanted to speed run us through it. It should have started out with them completely being quiet. I'm talking about just air and some deep breaths. And then after some time, let Spencer try to speak and then let Layla cut him off and then apply pressure. You know, while they may be saving time for a later thorough explanation on Spencer's behalf, they could have planted seeds here by having Spencer say, like, you know, he does love Layla, which he does. He did or does care for her, and everything that they did together was true. Yes, he did say he loved Liv, but he did not know that until Vegas. Like he was blindsided and he made a mistake. Like he should have stopped them, but he was hurting too. And this could have led to Layla saying, like, because Liv hurt you, you just tried to destroy me and like string me along. Like, wow. And then we could have went into her walkaway line. Just something like that. It would have created better pacing, better tension, and better understanding. But hey, who am I? I'm just a little YouTuber. As Spencer stands at his front door reliving that moment, Dylan gets some screen time and he comes in to see, to check on his big brother, see if he's okay. And I like this because Dylan got some screen time, and I'm like, okay, okay. Y'all didn't just, make him go upstairs like on Family Matters. Like, I don't know if y'all know anything about Family Matters, but on Family Matters, they literally had the youngest daughter walk upstairs and she never came back. Like, that was it. Like, she was never seen on the show again. It's a wrap. Like, so I'm glad Dylan didn't get Family Matter in this situation because he needs some screen time too. But Spencer said he was careless of someone's feeling and he messed up, and he suggested that they should get some brother bonding time before he dropped them off at school. I knew since the synopsis of episode 8 that Liv and Jordan was going to get some quality time, so I knew that Spencer was going to mirror that sentiment. They do that a lot in this show, so it was expected. So Spencer takes Dylan into one of his football workouts, and because of course, one of his defaults is to always bury himself into something as he tries to navigate his feelings. The brothers are interrupted by two new characters. Well, one in particular, Jabari Long. He is coming at Spencer like real tough, like for calling himself the resource and Crenshaw's savior. And this leads into him challenging Spencer to a football game, a one-on-one game for 5 plays. And the rules are basically Spencer needs to catch 3 passes out of 5 to win, but if Jabari blocks 3 or more passes, then he loses. And Spencer starts off very strong, catching 2 passes easy. I'm talking about just schooling Jabari on the field. I'm talking about breaking ankles and breaking hearts. But after that, Jabari was on Spencer like stank on, like stopping 3 passes back to back like the cover of Lethal Weapon. Like it wasn't until like Spencer lost that he discovered that Jabari went to Crenshaw as he pulls out a high school sweater. And I was sitting there like waiting for the titles to pop up on the screen, but we still keep going. Like the scene doesn't end, but we go over to like Crenshaw and we see Coop and the returning Kia. I'm glad to have you back, by the way, on the screen as they walk the halls of Crenshaw. And Coop is talking about DJ Relish. Yes, DJ Relish wanting to meet with her. And Kia bigs her up. Like, Kia is that person. And again, she needs some more screen time. I don't know what y'all writers doing. How y'all in Crenshaw and y'all don't see Kia? Like, fix that. Real talk. Now, Kia asked how Patience was doing on Lil Jewel's tour, and I'm like, okay, so guess we just not gonna have that conversation, huh? We just skipping over her telling Coop that, like Coop's reaction to her leaving, considering how her and Spencer are on the rocks, like I guess so, like I guess that's the theme. But anywho, Coop says she is killing it. That's why she needs her meeting with DJ Relish to go well, so Patient can be just as proud of her as as Coop is for Patience. And Kia's like, you ready to ace that math test today? And of course, Coop completely forgot about it. And then over the loudspeaker, they announce homecoming is upon them, and they say who the 2 candidates are for homecoming kings and queens are. And for the queens, we get Miss Kia, and she already knew it. She was like, I did. And we got Coop. Coop was surprised, but you can see with all her notoriety and her tour and all that good stuff, you knew that was going to happen. And for the kings, we get Chris and Spencer. Now, I was shocked at the Chris one. Like, Chris ain't even been on screen. Like, thankfully, because I ain't had to get mad. But Chris haven't even been nowhere to be found. Like, at least I thought he was going to be in this episode because they did a lot of Crenshaw stuff. But I guess they swapped him out for Kia. Like, somebody got to get airtime, but somebody got to get one. Let's draw shorter straw or something like. But so once Spencer's name is called, he gets a hallway standing O, and Coop is not feeling that. Like, that's that mean look that she did in the promo. Like, she is not feeling it at all. They look at each other for a few before they both turn and walk away. And finally, the title logo comes on, and we are on our way. Man, all that happened before the title appeared, so you know the pacing was fast, and we just getting started. Boy. Next scene, we get Spencer meeting up with Billy, and Billy is going over all the football players on the roster. Since interim principal Carter, aka soap opera villain, raised this GPA requirement to play sports, football in particular, they do not have enough players to make the playoffs. Spencer brings up Jabari by saying, like, this dude's a beast and he should play, but his GPA from last semester is incomplete, so that makes him ineligible as well. Which leads Spencer to ask Coach Baker to talk to interim principal Carter. Now, then we jump over to the vindictive Betties, Layla and Coop is studying for a math test, and Layla continues to eye the door, thinking she's going to run into Spencer. Layla lets Coop know that she canceled her meeting with DJ Rillis because it was at the same time during her math test, and Coop lets her know that she could have skipped that, but Layla reinforces that everyone else needs to know, especially him, that school comes first, but he is still interested. Because of the episode 8 promo, I knew that nugget of Coop saying she could have skipped it was leading towards Coop's decision to drop out of school later on in the episode. Coop then calls Layla out for looking at the door, letting her know that Spencer is at practice and everything is good. And they both broke up with him, so if she wants to talk, just talk. And she says, him who? And this was the first pause of the episode. This was the first time I clicked pause and had to take a little breath. Like, so not only did they skip the Coop and Patience situation, but they decided to do a 2-week time skip again. And now conversations I would have loved to hear and experience, they skipped those too. So everyone knows Layla and Spencer broke up in some version of the story. Like, what was Liv's response to it? How did Layla share the news? How does everyone feel about it? Like, why would you skip that? Like, I swear, this season seems to want to rush the things they did great in previous seasons. Like, slow down. Season 4 has been picked up. Let's not ruin season 3 before 4 even happens. Before I run on a tangent, Kia comes on the scene with printed up pamphlets for Homecoming Queen. And she says, like, how dope it would be if Coop won with her bestie, Spencer. And then we get the awkward silence with looks and everything. And Layla uses this to exit stage left, and Coop fills Kia in on her and Spencer's friendship status. Since Kia was back, I thought we were going to get that scene in full. However, that didn't happen either. You see what I'm going with this? Back over at Crenshaw, Billy tries to talk to Carter, but Carter won't budge on lowering the GPA requirement to play. Like, this man don't care to hear anything Billy is saying because he holds a soap opera grudge against him, and he thinks he's doing what's best to South Crenshaw, yet you see no positive changes happening anywhere. So what are we talking about here? Like, like, he is not hearing anything out. He has a one-track mind, and that's what we're getting from him. Next, we get a brief scene at the James residence, and they're celebrating Grace winning the bid to design a garden at Crenshaw High School. Again, this show doesn't do things for no reason. I believe there is a reason why they're using Grace for this storyline, and some of you already know where I'm going, but I'll hold on to a little later. Spencer is in his head because he is doubting calling himself the resource for saving Crenshaw, and Dylan points out that the team is barely winning off-screen games, and they won't make it the playoffs unless they raise their GPAs. Aha! Seems like the IBIS gave Spencer the forethought he needed to try to turn things around. So when Dylan said that, the light bulb flickered, like cling, cling. Like Spencer, like, I think I know what I need to do. Now, let's head over to the Baker's residence. Jordan lets his mom know that Liv has been in the shower forever, and that she might need to go check in on her. Laura says Liv is having a hard time post the breakup, and I just rolled my eyes like, Liv, you better be up there drinking because I know you're not heartbroken over Asher. Like, let's be real here. Like, y'all really didn't have a relationship. And I get, being down from hurting for someone and with her being a pleaser or a fixer. But in this case, I don't see it. Girl, if at first you don't succeed, then dust yourself off and try again. Please, dust all that Asher off and try again. Try again. Seriously. Speaking of the late great Aaliyah, Jordan rocks a shirt of her on honor of Spirit Week for school, and he wants to twin it at school, hoping that it will cheer Liv up. He does this because he says she hasn't been feeling school lately due to running into Asher and seeing Layla every day with all the rumors going on. It's not fun. Again, why was these conversations skipped? Like, I feel like this episode should have came before the Vegas episode, and the Vegas episode should have been the mid-season finale because I was not feeling all these skip moments. But let's not jump into that bag yet. Let's continue this recap review. Laura suggests that Liv should take a mental health day. First time somebody said that about Liv. I mean, I guess we got to start somewhere, right? I love that they made Laura give that little mini monologue saying sacrificing a day of class to focus on your mental health is more important. Like, I started cracking up. Like, y'all gotta learn how to make those moments more natural. Like, instead of feeling like she should break the fourth wall and just look right into the camera, like, and then say those lines. Like, but nevertheless, she was right, and Jordan immediately wants to join in. Now, many people may praise Jordan for that, but I actually am doing the opposite. Because Jordan doesn't do it because he's looking out for his sister's well-being. He just wants to skip school. And I get it. When I was a kid, I probably would have done the same thing to skip school. But here, I thought they were going to use Jordan to suggest that he should spend time with his sister because he feels they need to connect. So much for twinning, right? Back at Beverly, we get a scene with Asher and Vanessa. And Vanessa brought him some pan dulce and, of course, mentions this summer. Like, please find that girl some new lines. All right. I'm going to continue. They, of course, reminisce about their time in Mexico, about going on morning jogs and eating pan dulce afterwards. And Asher said, that defeated the reasoning for running or for the jogs. But Vanessa says it was never about the jog, and then gives that look. That look she always do. And Asher uses that time to apologize for being distant during the time skip. And then Vanessa got her feel of some good old Asher chest as she rubs a crumb off his sweater for the pan dulce. And Asher gives her that I love you eyes. You know that look. You know that look when you're looking at eyes with that face. Then Vanessa asks him out into a drive-in movie. And to my surprise, Asher declines and says he can't go. And basically leaves her standing there. Like, so you've been doing all this blocking and hating and catering to her every whim, and now that you're free, you don't want to hang out? Make it make sense. Like, this is why Asher stay on the downright disrespectful list, I swear. We jump back over to Crenshaw High School, and Spencer is texting Liv to see how she's doing. This man is still reaching out. Still. And he is interrupted by Kia, making sure he knew where they were giving their homecoming speeches at Slauson Cafe, and that she will separate the time slots so that Spencer and Coop don't see each other, even though she hopes that they will work out. Then we get a scene where we learn more about Jabari. He is being escorted by a cop to his locker. Jabari was locked up in Juvie for some bling ring. Basically, he was a lookout as the older people like rob someone or someplace. He got out early due to good behavior, but the stigma follows him, so the cops continue to harass him. Spencer then takes this chance to go talk to him, and honestly, I get a good vibe from Jabari. He seems real cool. Like he apologizes to Spencer about how he came at him that morning and notes that Spencer has some skills on the field. Spencer returns a nod and he jokes that I did that in skinny jeans and some J's. Like imagine what I do with some cleats. And Spencer like tells him like, yo, you need to chill out. Then he suggests that Jabari join the team, but he declines. And Spencer then, puts on his Superman S and lets him know that he's going to start tutoring the teammates. And if it's about his GPA, he'll be fine. But Jabari lets him know his GPA was fine already. He said Carter, the soap opera principal, was holding him back because he haven't transferred his remaining credits for the classes he took in juvie. Feeling slighted, Jabari tells Spencer to mind his business and call him Black Jesus and then left. And I agree. Like Spencer shouldn't have so assumed in this situation, but instead he should have asked him. So I get why Jabari felt some type of way. Now, the next scene is what I wanted to talk to you about concerning Mama Grace. She meets up with Principal Carter and interim Principal Carter, and he's giving her the last minute changes to her design for the garden. And when I say he said, it's not bad, Miss Jane, I know y'all caught that look. Like, that man is feeling Miss James. Like, I mean, she is bad, and I can see why. But I'm not liking you, sir. I'm not liking you. Like, you and your soap opera vibes can go. We not doing that, sir. Grace asks him about the GPA and lets him know that it affects her son. They briefly get into it about Billy and the bullying that he believes happened to him. And Grace says, maybe you're not remembering it correctly because that doesn't sound like Billy. And he'll like, maybe you don't know him as well as you think. Now, they said maybe that he's remembering it differently twice in this episode, once here and once later on in the episode. And I get the feeling that maybe he's remembering it differently. Like, I believe once we get the story in its full entirety or this full scope, we're going to learn that his beef or grudge is with someone else, and he's going to make the transition from soap opera villain to potential new boo for Grace. But before we go down that rabbit hole, Spencer comes up and asks about Jabari's credit not being transferred because he feels some way about it. But it wasn't until Miss James laying into him about his unwillingness to help Jabari that he seems to hear what her and Spencer was saying. And again, it seems like Mama Grace has a way to breach his walls and get him to see the light, which is another reason I feel like he's going to pursue her. Now, the next scene I should skip over because Jordan, if you ever disrespect Aaliyah again with that horrible rendition of Try Again, I'm going to have to dust you off, sir. This man butchered the song, man. But I did love seeing him spend time along with his sister. And then after that, he suggested they sit down and talk. And immediately Liv rolls up the I'm fine walls. Like, she runs down the conversation or altercation that we should have seen, saying Layla's giving her the cold shoulder and it's awkward seeing Asher, but she's good or she's fine. But Jordan thinks everything may have happened for a reason and that it's time that she needs to go for what she wants, or who? Spencer. But that line threw me because in Vegas, he was saying that Layla and Spencer was in game, but now he all team Olivia. Like, y'all writers need to get it together. Like, this would have made more sense if y'all would have used this moment to have Liv catch Jordan up to speed with everything going on, and after some thought, Jordan gave his advice. Not saying that this didn't happen off screen and they just skipped it, but it would have worked here perfectly. Jordan also wants her to mend fences with Layla, and then her and Spencer maybe can dust herself off. But he says dust herself soft and try again. I'm like, you butchered the lyrics again. Don't play with me, sir. Preacher's return. That man has been on a sabbatical in Philly looking over Mo's track, and he believes she is on the up and up. I completely forgot about Mo because she hasn't been on screen the last few episodes. But I guess they're reintroducing that subplot because Cooper's gonna start, she's gonna eventually leave school, so we need Coop to be in some type of mess. Because I still don't trust Mo fine self. I really do not. So we're gonna see where that go. He also lets Coop know that she needs to do her. And again, this is another nod to push her to decide school is not for her. Next scene, Layla runs into Spencer as he picks up his check. And before Spencer can leave, she turns around and reads him. I'm talking about she old the old open encyclopedia like rah. And she was like, he was so busy stringing her along because he thought she was too fragile to handle it. And Spencer couldn't get a word in before she cuts him off and say how much she has grown and that he would never know that. And then she says he was trying to play the superhero in Vegas, yet he did the most damage. I love how everyone is using the superhero theme to discuss Spencer's faults. Like, honestly, superheroes do a lot of damage, but from what they showed in Vegas, like Spencer wasn't doing anything but trying to chill. Like the damage seekers was everyone else pushing Layla towards him without speaking to him about his feelings. But if she leaves Spencer standing there speechless, and I'm like, dang, my man, like everybody leaving you stuck this season, huh? Coop in the next scene is being ignorant again and trying to bring over a box of reminders of her and Spencer's to Spencer's house. And can we get a standing O for Miss Grace James? Like she came through with the come through. She was like, you not leaving her here, girl. Not only that, she gives her advice that her non-existent parents should be giving her, that her and Spencer have been friends for too long to take the easy way out. And if she wants to throw that away, she needs to give that box to Spencer herself. She even called her by her government. You know when a mama or a black mama call you by your government, she is not playing. So you better yes ma'am your way out that situation. And Coop picked up that box real quick. She knew Miss Grace was not playing. Next, we get a scene with JJ talking about Vanessa to the players and to Asher as he believes he is making progress with her. And the coach comes in and lets Asher know that he'll be practicing with the second team. And of course, instead of saying, okay, Asher thinks this is a ploy against him, and he thinks it because he's talking to Vanessa. That's why they're switching it up. And the coach is like, what you mean you and Vanessa? Like, now she want all the tea, all the deets, everything, what flavors, all that. She was coming in to let him know that she was switching him to help him with another teammate. But you know, Asher always got to be can't get right. He can't go one scene without acting ignorant. So now she want all the deets. Back at the James residence, Coach Baker comes to talk to Spencer about the football fiasco. And this leads to Spencer getting some things off his chest about all the drawbacks he has since coming back to Crenshaw. And maybe he should retire his Superman S. And Billy says absolutely not. Like, this is your gift, and he can't do everything alone. He gives him a quote from his mom saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Don't be afraid to ask for help. There is honor in that. And this is why I rock with Billy, because he steps up for Spencer when he needs that fatherly advice. He may want to focus that same energy on his kids since they all over the place, but for now, he is giving Spencer what he's needed, so kudos for that. Now, the next scene, we finally get the Layla and Liv confrontation. Liv pulls up and take a drink out of her alcohol-filled water bottle, and I'm like, girl, are you trying to go to jail? Like, drinking and driving, Liv? Dang, you spiraling. She walks inside and tries to talk to Layla. Layla immediately tries to pack up and leave, but Liv just wants to clear the air. She believes, like the rest of us, that she didn't do anything wrong, and she didn't make Spencer tell her his feelings. But Layla is hurt and mad and not hearing it. She believed Liv lied to her for months and watched Spencer lead her on. And correct me if I'm wrong, like, where were the months at? Like, 1 month maybe because there was a 2-week time skip, but where was the months with an S of lying? Like, Liv lets her know that Spencer cares for Layla, but since he loves Liv, Layla ain't having it, and she won't be a cliche standing there fighting over a boy. Liv then says, it's not like you and Spencer were together at the time, and Layla tries to pull the loyalty card on Liv. She tried to pull the loyalty card on Liv, y'all. Like, girl, then said Liv sucks as a friend. Did y'all check the look Liv gave when she said that? And finally, Liv got her moment to speak up. She said Layla wouldn't know loyalty if it was a price tag. She then goes down the line and lets Layla have it, bringing up everything. getting Spencer drunk, almost ruining his football career, her going after Spencer after knowing how she felt about him, not recognizing Liv at her lowest with her addiction, even though Liv supported her at her lowest, and then she wraps a bow around it talking about what type of friend is that? Ooh, like just dropped the mic on it. I said, keep going. Keep going. Say, I would have been in the audience because it showed the audience looking around like, oh my God. I would have been in the back like, keep going. Talk to her. Talk to her. Layla needed all of that. All of it. All that time she was talking, Layla was just sinking down deep in the depths of her soul. I'm talking about going into the sunken place. She was just as Liv was just reading her. What I didn't like about the scene though, one, it was too short for me. Like I needed an extra 5-10 minutes because Layla needed to feel all that heat. And another, it seemed like they painting Layla as the one taking the high road or the moral road or the victim or the only victim. Like she gets the last word and ends the friendship between the two. And I feel like Liv should have done both of those. Liv should have left Layla standing there with the Jazz Sullivan pick up your feelings look, like not the other way around. Like I feel like Liv should have been like, you know what? I don't even know why I came here. You can stay here. You don't know what a friend is. I'm done being there for you. Friendship over. Ooh, and walked off. But you know, whatever. Next, we walk over to the Slauson Cafe for the homecoming speeches, and Spencer is running late, which leads him and Coop being in the same place at the same time. Spencer goes up there and gives a superhero worthy of a speech, giving credit to everyone, even Coop, and saying each and everyone in Crenshaw is a resource, and it's going to take everyone and everybody if they want South Crenshaw to prosper. One line that stuck out to me, he said, Chris's superpower was his loyalty. Like in which universe? In which universe, sir? Because that boy's loyalty shifts every 2 seconds. So I think you need to get that power checked. You know what I'm saying? But after his speech, Billy lets him know that 3 of the best teachers agrees to help tutor the team before school. And then Jabari comes over and lets him try to give thanks to them for getting his his credits transferred. But they was like, we didn't do that. But he was like, since his transfers credit, he wants to join a team. And Coach Baker was like, I ain't gonna let you just ride on there. You gotta practice hard. But he was like, cool. And then he even offers his services to tutor the boys of science whiz 3.4 GPA. Again, I like this dude. Spencer needs some good dudes beside him. Jordan is, Cupcake, and Darnell is gone. Coop is gone. Like, Spencer needs a nice brotherhood, so I hope that they're developing Jabari to be that, because Spencer needs it. We hop over to the hangout, and Vanessa confronts Asher because of what tea he spilled to her mom. She said Asher misreads the moment and cannot read women at all. She then says she does not want to date Asher. She is no rebound, and she knows her worth. She just wanted to go out as a friend. Girl. So the late night booty calls of you hitting him up about his girlfriend hiding things, you sticking your neck in trying to defend him from his friend's remarks at the cabin, the many looks you giving him, the rubbing on his chest, the pon douce, and now you know your worth and you don't want to date him? Who okayed this in the writer's room? Like, y'all killing me. Bruh. To make matters worse, after they agreed to start over as friends, she remarks after being asked that she is going to the drive-in movie with JJ. And she rolls her eyes when JJ throws his hand on Happy, and she's all like, and I'm like, wow. Now you're starting to feel JJ, and now we're getting another love triangle between these three? Spare me the scenes, please, because I'm all the way good on that. Even though I like JJ, I can't with Vanessa. Not now. We jump back to the Slosson's Cafe, and Coop gives her speech basically saying she's taking her powers elsewhere as she declines her role as homecoming queen. Kia then questions her about if she's dropping out of school, and she said yeah, and then she says that stupid line from the promo, "I'm officially quitting everything that's holding me back," while looking at Spencer, and then she walks off. And then Kia asks Spencer, like, "Are you gonna stop her?" And Spencer stands there with that little look on his face, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm with it." Like, he didn't wrong Coop. He bigged her up in her speech. Yet Coop want to act ignorant. So nah, let her go by herself, act dumb, and don't chase her. Like, Coop needs to learn, and she needs to learn the hard way because it's all her at this point. Next scene, we get Jordan and Layla, and I can already hear y'all now shipping those two. Like, I hear it. I see the hashtags forming. Like, please, please spare me the thought of that. I do not want that to happen. Any shape, form of the way. I do not want to see that. But Jordan talks to Layla, as Layla didn't want to get him involved, but she wanted people to stop lying and treating her like she's fragile. And Jordan says, as Layla starts to walk off, "For the record, Layla, you're one of the strongest people I know. I never doubted it." She comes back and gives him a hug. And I can hear y'all now. I can hear some of y'all now. Oh, oh, and I'm the only guy in the background like this. Like, I liked and hated that scene because one, he did right by Layla as her friend, and she needed that. However, your sister, your twin, the one you shared a womb with, needs that like every day. You should be going out your way to help her, yet for some reason everyone ignores Liv, but always wants to be accessible and helping everyone else. Like, this is getting on my nerves. That is your twin. Next thing, we get another account of Carter and Billy, and Carter goes into details as to why he hates Billy. He said Billy punched him so hard that he needed stitches, and he was removed from the school because his parents feared for his life, and he was sent from boarding school away from his family because of it. Billy doesn't seem to remember any of it. You know, when he do that little, he rubbing his back, he don't seem to remember any of it. And Carter is like, see, exactly, like, you got to move on, erase it out your memory, and be great, while my life got blown up. Again, another mental health issue here because he is still living with that anguish, aka his stuck point, and until properly addressed, he will not move past it. Billy says he remembers it wrong, and then Carter takes off. Again, I do feel like eventually we're going to get that full scene, that full story, and I think Carter is remembering it wrong. Last scene, we get Olivia and Spencer finally meeting up. Kia, again reading the room, leaves them to talk, and Liv apologizes to Spencer about leaving him on red, and then texts him a little nice little remark saying, like, "Do you need a ride home?" During the ride home, they're playing the same song, "Collide" from Queen and Slim, as they did, I believe, at the wedding scene, as Spencer realizes feelings for Liv, and in the background. And Liv, after much talking, eventually tells Spencer she loves him too. She confirms her feelings she has since Spencer first came to Beverly, and that has only gotten stronger since then. She then says that them being together might not be a popular choice, i.e., Jordan's worried about his marriage with Simone, but hey, they shouldn't worry about all that. All they need to do is worry about themselves. When talking to Jordan earlier that day, she said so much collateral damage happened all because the Vegas kiss. And I knew, because anytime you do a long car ride, something bad is going to happen. Spencer tells her to pull over as he holds her hand. He ready to get this thing popping as they peer into their eyes. And you can hear the music in the background. They very particular, and I thought this was done well with the music. The lyrics of the from the song "Collide" is saying, "When we collide, it's a beautiful disaster. Then crash into you." and crash they did. That they did. Liv crashes into a parked car. And soon after, we hear police sirens behind them. First of all, that lets you know they ain't a good neighborhood. They must have crossed over because police don't come that fast in Crenshaw. Stop it. So Liv is like panicking and asking Spencer to switch seats with her because she is not going to pass her sobriety test. And then that's where the episode ends. Now, because this is a mid-season finale, I do have a lot to say. I brought up what she said to Jordan because she just confessed her love to Spencer and then they crash. I feel like the writers are trying to put this like juju or bad energy around their relationship, saying like whenever they get together, something bad always transpires. And I really hope they not going that down that route. Like let these kids get a chance to be together without everything trying to come against them. Like let them try. Like if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But give them that shot. I mean, y'all gave me Layla. Sure. but I feel like they're gonna use that to kind of like keep them apart for a while. Like I feel like think about it, like her at the Cantillion, Spencer gets shot. The kiss in Vegas after they confess their love eventually leads to the many breakups, and now she confess her feelings and then they crash. Like I feel like they're gonna use that to make Liv feel like maybe every time we get together, bad things happen. We should just separate, type thing. Like, and I'm not here for it. Not today. Not today. Come on. Also, Jordan and Simone, they did bring up again about when their parents find out about them getting married and it's gonna be all hell. It's really making me think that Jordan and Simone not gonna last. Especially since rumor is Simone got the spinoff show. I don't see Simone and Jordan being together once she leaves off to college. Like I don't see it. So I think that was a little nugget there too. Okay, y'all, let's get into the good, the bad, and the downright disrespectful. The good. I like that Liv spoke her mind. Although very brief, it was a nice change of pace. I like that she finally got the time to be like, yo, you have never been a friend to me. Like, you suck. Like, you never been there for me. I've always been there for you. Like, you can't even admit that. Like, you so far up your own behind that you can't see straight. Like, come on. Like, Layla has sucked when it came to being Liv's friend. And this was a long time coming. Again, I wish that scene was longer. I wish it was a little bit longer because Layla needs to feel some more heat. We need to crack up that die. Click, 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 click. Like, I know she was in a sunken place for a brief moment, but y'all let her walk out too good. Like, y'all let her get the last words and stuff. Like, nah, she needed some more talking too. Like, Liv should have followed her outside, a little ratchet, like, and another thing, like, hair flipping, like. But I digress. I also like Jabari because he is a character needed. Again, since Darnell is gone, Jordan is cupcaking, Chris is a little shifty, he ain't even on screen. Jabari can be that brother that Spencer needs, or that brotherhood that Spencer needs. He ain't really got no brotherhood if you think about it. Like, Spencer has, like, the people in his life are majority women. Like Olivia, Coop, his mom. Like his little brother, he ain't getting enough screen time to be that. And Coach Baker, he comes in every now and then, but Coach Baker got his own life too. So that's not like they're joined at the hip. So he doesn't have that guy friend group to talk to because Darnell again is gone. So I love the idea of giving another character around Spencer. That's dope. And I love Mama Grace up and through this episode. Like she is everything and more. Like this lady always provides great advice. She always keeping it real no matter what the circumstance is. Like she got up in the principal's neck about Jabari and his unwillingness to help people. Um, she got in Tamia, yes, Tamia's neck. She got into Mia's neck and like, nah, you ain't leaving this box here. Like, you better pick this up and go somewhere. Like, I love it. She is everything. I was asked like to do appreciation piece or video on All American characters, and they wanted like to do Mama Grace, and I'm like, yes, she has done a fabulous job with acting, her character, everything, and I love it. Also, I love seeing Kia back because Kia needs screen time. She's another pivotal. She's another pivotal character that y'all letting go to waste this season, especially since y'all back in Crenshaw. Like, use her, and pair her and live up. Stop playing. And then Billy also for stepping up for Spencer, even though he ain't been stepping up for his kids. But I do love that he's a father figure for Spencer. The bad, the pacing. The pacing was horrible. Like, it was horrible this episode. Like, it was too fast, and the episode was just all over the place. Like, this to me did not feel like a mid-season finale. It should have been swapped with the Vegas episode. While I get it, we did get a moment at the end, because it does seem like that's what they've been doing lately. Like, wait till the last 5 minutes of the show and then give you something to make you be like, I want to see the next episode. But what about the other 40 minutes of the show? You can't just give me 5 minutes of something and make me feel like, oh, okay, that's good. But what about the 40 minutes before it? Like, the pacing was horrible. Like, I know I said that in the very first episode, on my very first episode 1 recap review, but here it felt even faster. Like, y'all running out of time or something. Like, no, like, sit in these writer rooms and get it together. A lot of things could have happened this episode. Hell, it should have been 2 parts. It should have been 2 parts. Should have been the fallout from the Vegas revelation. Then it should have been the rest of it into the car crash. But, I guess they got to cut somewhere, right? Now, the downright disrespectful. All of the skip conversation in this episode was really, really confusing to me. We never got to see Liv's reaction to anything or how she handled it. The episode seemed very rushed, and I was not feeling it. We missed the Coop and Patience conversation. We missed Layla explaining to whomever she explained it to, because rumors got around fast. We missed Jordan's reaction. We missed the Baker's reaction. We missed everything. Everything. Everything was just skipped. Why? That's good television. Y'all just speed running us right through it. Like, it was not a good thing for me. Also, the way they handled Liv confessing her feelings for Spencer, it felt very bland. Hear me out. They dressed up Spencer's confession to Liv, but gave Liv this unseasoned meat of a confession. Like they just threw some chicken in the dang pan and then just served it. Like, you didn't put no salt, no pepper, no lard. You didn't put nothing on that thing. You just gave us that bland confession. Y'all do know that she has been holding this in since season 1, right? And this has only gotten deeper. So why give her 2 seconds worth of a confession followed by a car accident? Like, I don't think this scene nor Liv is handled well so far this season. Like, that should have been a big moment, crash or not. But instead, we get the instant noodles instead of the gourmet ramen. Like, bruh. Then characters like Jordan being there but not being there for his sister. Vanessa acting like she just want to be friends. And the potential love triangle with JJ. Coop being ignorant. Layla being victimized, the only sufferer. And the lack of parents in Tamia's life. Like, all of it is making the list. Like, I just couldn't. Like, Vanessa literally said she wants to be friends and that she ain't no rebound and she know her worth. Like, why you touching on his chest? Why you trying to be there every win? Why you calling that booty call hours? Like, why you doing all this? They gonna turn around and just say, I want to be friends. And stop following that man like a sick puppy then if you just want to be friends. Cut him off, give him friendship, and go with JJ. Jordan. Jordan literally wanted to skip school just to skip school, but not be there for his sister. Like, I can see y'all over there. Hey, Jordan, I ain't giving him that. Like, you gave Layla more than what you gave to your sister. Gonna give her a hug and then give y'all some new hashtags. Bruh. Then Coop, where is her parents at? Like, I'm tired of her just wilding in these streets. Like, somebody need to get her in the headlock and sit her down somewhere. I am tired of her. She needs to be slapped. You dropped out of what? Bap! Like, that's what she need. Nah, one ain't enough. She needs to be slapped and re-slapped. I'm talking about pap and come back with the back. They like pap. Like, that's what she needs. Because she is not listening. She getting on my nerves. let me calm down. I'm sorry. I also want to point out that I still think Layla will sleep with Christian, and I think they're going to use that as a coping device, only to hurt him the same way that Spencer hurt her. And then she's going to learn what Spencer experienced as they use that to get Spencer and Layla to talk again. Not talk again as they get back together, but to like fully clear the air. I do think she's going to get with Christian. I do think Christian's going to actually start liking her. I don't know if that's going to last, but I do see them working that angle and sending Layla down that course. I think that's how it's going to go down, but you know. That was my long-winded episode 8 mid-season finale of All American Season 3. I hope you enjoyed the review. I know I had a lot to say. And if you stuck around, I appreciate you. We got a month until the show returns, so I know we'll have a lot to say on what happens next. Until then, hit the like on the video if you enjoyed it. If you're new here, show some love by hitting that sub, click the noti bell and hit all, and share like you care. And we will see you in the next episode, all right? Until then, peace. You just come running by.